Hey, how's it going, YouTube? So, recently made the jump from the world of four-wheel quads to two-wheel dirt bikes, and wife and I picked up this 2017 YZ250 FX. End of the year, end of the season. Well, end of the year anyway. Here in California, the season's kind of the winter time. So got a great deal on it because it's the end of the 2017s and the 2018s are already coming out. Only downside is the exhaust is not spark arrested. So in order to ride legally and not risk getting a ticket if they decide to pop me, need to get a spark arrestor on it. So I picked up a spark arrestor from Rocky Mountain ATV MC, and it's called the Lexx XC. Got it inside. I'll show you packaging in just a minute, but it was only $99, and it just converts the stock pipe end cap to a spark arrested end cap. I mean, this bike is brand new. I didn't want to spend hundreds on a new exhaust when this one is sure to be good for at least a little while anyway. So go inside, take a look at that packaging, and show you what comes in it. Alright, so here's the packaging of the Lexx XC spark arrestor. There's the model number. Your model number, if you order this, would be slightly different, probably. Again, this one's going to be for a 2017 Yamaha YZ250 FX. So, just plain packaging. We'll open this up and see exactly what's fully inside. Alright, so got the package opened up, and here's what comes inside of it. You got the instructions. They were folded up underneath all the stuff there. So install instructions. It's a front and back of the sheet. Should be pretty simple to follow. It does give you a required tools and supplies list there. So here's the insert, and I just wanted to point out that it is stamped, so it does comply with forestry service regs. You get the spark arrestor insert, which will slide down in there once it's installed. You get two end caps. What they say, one's a 46 and one's a 32. 32 will be a little quieter, and they'll just sit on there like that. You get your carbon fiber end cap. This might be plastic with a carbon look. That would sit over that like that. And finally, you get your hardware packet. It has your rivets, bolts for screwing down the end cap. It has some Loctite type stuff on there, and some washers. Alright, so here's all the tools that we'll need to get going. Socket set, typical sizes on this bike. It's like 8 and 10 and 12. You need a drill, corded or cordless, 3/16 drill bit for drilling out the rivets, rivet gun, or rivet tool anyway, some punches, some small sizes, like the largest one here is like a 3/16, 4mm wrench for those socket head screws that hold the end cap on, some high temp silicone, usually that's the red, and then a hammer to knock things out. I was hoping that I could just remove the plastics and drill the rivets out with the exhaust still on the bike, but it looks like you are going to have to take it off. The instructions say you got to take it off, and there's rivets up on very top here, and right here you can't get to them because of the fenders. So looks like the exhaust will be coming off. Okay, took the side panel off. That was just 3 10mm bolts here at the seat, and a couple locations for the black part of the side panel. The exhaust bolts are also 10mm here and on the clamp. So I'm going to do as many of these rivet locations as I can before having to take the pipe off the bike. Alright, getting these rivets out, it's coming along. Do yourself a favor and just get yourself a new drill bit. You're going to need it. Your existing drill bit is, I can guarantee you, it's too dull. And if you're doing it on the bike, then do something to cover up your important bits. You don't want all the little metal shavings getting in there. So I've got about half of them done. I can probably do most of them while it's still on the bike. And just this last one right up here is going to be that's going to be a problem. But anyway, it's coming along. Just get yourself some new drill bits. You'll stop swearing and it'll be a lot easier. Oh yeah, you just have to drill out a little bit of them, and then it gets to the point where you can just tap the center out with your punch and the whole head falls off real easy. Alright, so I had to take the pipe off the bike to get the final rivet done. It's kind of hiding right behind the hanger here. It's under the rear fender. There's just no room to get the drill in there at the right angle. So hopefully you guys will be able to see this as I get the last one out. Okay, drill most of the body out. And then what's been working well is you get that head opened up. Give it a few wraps with the punch. There you go. That pin goes inside and the head pops out. And pretty clean holes remaining. So now what we need to do is, as you can see here, there's that blackness right there at the seam. Go around the other side. So you can see that black stuff right here at the seam. That's some sort of sealant, some sort of silicone. So we'll need to get a razor blade and cut that all out before trying to remove the end cap. Okay, almost have this end cap out of here. So now you can see better the sealant that was in there. I just used this razor knife to go right under the edge there. It was easier on the back side. The back side's more flat. The blade went right in there. So then let me get this on a stand so I can show you with both hands. Okay, so as you can see, the cap is starting to separate, and what I've been doing, I'll have to move further away from the camera to do this, but basically I've just been grabbing the end cap and taking my hammer and tapping right there on the hanger, and it's been starting to pull out. So I'm just a few more taps away from getting this one out. So let's see how that goes. Goes like that. Alright, so there's your brand new fresh end cap, complete with busted rivets inside. And here's the inside of your factory muffler pipe if you've ever wanted to see that. Just gonna check around the inside for any pieces of rivets. Hopefully they're all in that end cap. Looks like they all are. I don't see any pieces in here. That shaking is the hanger nut right down here. Alright. So I'm going to pull this virgin piece of packing out of here and place it back in there. And then we'll get working on tapping in the new end cap piece. Takes the place of this one, and make the holes on it and drill them and rivet them. So a few more steps left. Alright, so what comes next is I'm going to put a bead of this high temp silicone around the inside edge of the can, and then you take the new end cap and you line it up, and we'll tap it in there till everything's flush. There's a little bit of a lip right there, so that lip is going to meet the edge of the exhaust can. And then I'll just center punch through each one of these holes and drill a 3/16 hole right through, and then we'll attach it with the rivets that was included. All of this is per the directions that came with the kit. So, alright, you can see there's a bead of silicone right around the edge. I'm trying to keep it as neat as possible. So now we'll tap in the new end cap. Keep in mind, here's the top of the exhaust by the hanger. The end cap has the stenciling for the Forestry Service approval on the top, so that's how you're going to make sure you're doing it right. And it's going to be a tight fit. Okay, got that on there. It was kind of tough. Couldn't really do it without blocking the camera shot. So you just take your time, kind of tap. A rubber mallet or a plastic mallet would be much better than a hammer. So I used the sock on the edge to try to not tear up the outer edge. But I just tapped around slowly, moving a little bit at a time. The really difficult part, or what could hang you up, notice your inside pipe in there. So make sure that the exhaust pipe, the baffle end of it, is making its way. I don't know if you'll be able to see there, but you can see the edge all the way around there. So make sure that's coming through correctly, or else you'll get hung up on that and it'll be cockeyed and not want to go down. But so it's got a bead of silicone sealant all around there. So I'm just going to center punch each one of these holes and drill it through, get it ready to put those rivets in. Alright, once you got one of your holes drilled, get your rivet over here. Grab your tool. There you go. 7 more to do. Alright, so keep in mind again, the hanger indicates the top of the exhaust. Your stamping or etching for U.S. Forestry Service approved is up here on the top. That means the 2 screw holes are on the top, the single screw hole is the bottom. So I'm going to take the larger tip and place it on there. But first, you got to do the spark arrestor. The instructions indicate that you probably want to put a little bit of RTV on here to help absorb vibration. I'm just going to put a little bit on the back side of the flange. Stick that down in there. And then for the same thing for this guy, they recommend putting some dabs either on the tip itself or on the cap, either way. So lines up there. Finally, you have your carbon cap. I'm going to go over the top of all of it. And 3 little socket head screws with some Loctite on them and come with washers. This should be a 4mm wrench. Alright, so there it is. Carbon end cap with the larger of the 2 exhaust turnouts. This is removable, so if you want to try to get a little bit of sound control, you can put the smaller insert in there. This one seems to be about the same size as the original. See that there? Yeah, more or less. So we'll see how that goes. Alright, now we'll start her up. It's back on the bike. Should sound basically like stock. Made barely any change to the muffler at all. Alright, so that was the install for the Lexx XC spark arrestor. I'm pretty happy with it. It's definitely a lot cheaper than a new system or new slip-on. If without having to go to the store and buy a new drill bit, would have taken me maybe an hour at the most, and that's because I was trying to film it. So number 1 tip, do yourself a favor, just have good sharp drill bits. It helps for drilling out the rivets because your rivets are probably steel, and then drilling the new holes in the end cap that comes with the kit. It's aluminum, so it's softer, but a new drill bit will make you a much happier person. Alright, thanks for watching. If you have any questions about any of this stuff, leave me a comment and I'll answer you the best I can. Thanks for watching. Take it easy.